Hi, I'm Piyush, and my younger brother Punit, who is 23 now, is autistic and has severe intellectual disability. In today's Blurt It Out with Sathi, I want to talk about the problem of social disconnect I faced during my early childhood years, well into my teenage years. I was around 4 years of age when Punit got diagnosed with autism. He was 2.5, and what happened is during initial years, Punit was very hyperactive. He also had sensory issues, like he disliked too much light or too much sound and being in crowd. So due to all this, it was very difficult for us, for the whole family, to go out to restaurants, to parties, to functions, and it was really very difficult for us to attend such events. So my father, many times me and my father only went to such events, and after a point I was like, oh, my mother and my brother are not going, so why should I go? So I totally avoided such social gatherings, and it was also during my school years, till my school years, I disliked any kind of social events. So it was very difficult for me to actually enjoy such events, and it is only now during the college years that I began to open up. And during my master's last 2 years, I had a complete shift from not being interested to go into such gatherings to organizing events, freshers, and stuff like that. I have come a long way. What I want to tell to siblings of special needs is that there will be times when your brother or sister will have meltdowns, and it will just not be possible to take him or her to functions. But don't restrict yourself. You go out. Maybe you go out with your father, or more better, you go out with your mother. Uh, let your brother or sister be with your father at home, and you and your mother also sometimes enjoy. Don't cut off yourself from the society. And this is what is my message to all the siblings, that don't restrict yourself. Thanks.
Hi, myself Pallavi Mohanty. I have a younger brother who is autistic. He is 15 years old now and his name is Pranav. So today in this blooded out session of Sathi, I want to talk about the loneliness and the helplessness that I experienced as a sibling of a special kid. So back in 2015, my brother had his first Feeds attacks, or seizures as we call them. So he was unconscious for 45 minutes, and since then he had multiple encounters of Feeds attacks, and those attacks led him to get diagnosed with autism in 2016. He was a little dull in his since his childhood, but he was getting along. But this attacks made it worse for him. It was brutal to see him go through these things because the medication was rough. He had to go through 2 MRI scans when he was just 11-year-old, and anyone who has a MRI scan know the experience can be very intense. So when he was going through all of this, I was 19 or 20 years old in my college years, and I had absolutely no idea how to help my parents, how to help my little brother. And I had this tremendous amount of this guilt on my shoulders that I'm a shittiest daughter, I'm a shitty sister to my brother, that I cannot help them because I had no idea how to respond to this situation because it was all so sudden, and I had no resources, no person to turn to because my parents had a lot of things on their plate. They had to figure out all of this, they had to do their research of their own. They went to Bangalore, Delhi. We live in a state of Odisha and there isn't much resources here, so they had to do a lot of things, and I couldn't obviously reach out to them. So things changed for me when I went to NIT and I met Piyush. He is a member of this community. Actually, the whole idea of creating a chain between siblings was his, and after meeting him, I got to know that okay, so I'm not the only one who is fighting this and not the only one who is going through this on a daily basis. There are a lot of people out there. He introduced me to a lot of resources, to a lot of research, and the things that were going behind the scenes, and he helped me a lot. So then he proposed me this idea of creating a communication between siblings where we can all come together and talk about what we went through, what we're going through, and help each other out, help other people out. So I get to know a lot of people by this group, and I'm really glad that I could be a part of this. I get to know Priyanka, Suvi, Soumya, Rekha Didi, Drishti, and many more. So I'm really glad that I'm part of this community. So all I'm saying is that if you're a sibling who is watching this, a sibling to a special kid, don't feel left out. Don't feel alienated. Reach out to a group with whom you feel comfortable. You can reach out to us too. And if you are someone who knows a person like that, please let them know that people, groups like us, communities like us exist where they can come and just talk about it, because sometimes talking about stuff makes you feel lighter, right? So that's all. Thank you.
Hello friends, good evening. My name is Frenisha Murzello and I am an elder sister to Neha Murzello, my special sibling. And today I'm going to speak about my experience, in fact a part of my experience of growing up with Neha. I remember those days, no one was vocal about anything, and I had come to my own conclusions about Neha. All I knew was she was different than me. Rather than that, I had no one to sit me down and explain the difference between an autistic child, a normal child, a child with Down syndrome, nothing. And I totally believe that without knowledge, you have nothing to defend yourself. Without knowledge, you just don't know where you're headed. And one day I went to my school and I was in my second or third standard. I was a baby in fact. And one guy from the back bench, he screams it out in a class with a strength of 100 kids and plus that, "ए तुम लोग को पता है फ्रेनिशा की बहन पागल है." And I wasn't ready for it. I wanted to tell them no, but I didn't know if she's not mad, then what is she? But I just knew that she is not mad. In fact, I remember that day I coming home and I was just trying to comprehend that my explanation and definition of a mad person in my head, that a person roaming with bags, scratching their head, roaming anywhere on the road. And I was trying to compare Neha with them. And I could clearly see she's nowhere close to it. But then what is she? She is not normal. She is not like me. Growing up in a joint family, I always had my cousins blessed with their siblings who at a particular age would start speaking, they would start walking, they would start being normal like me. But Neha was nowhere close to it. She used to not walk till she was 7 years old. She used to crawl throughout the entire living room. And I remember those days, my mom would take us to the beach. They would bury Neha till her waistline. So that has some medicinal properties that help your veins of your feet to regain their strength and the child starts walking. I remember they would make some heavy boots for her with weights so she could balance. I've seen Neha falling. It was traumatizing because being an elder sister, you didn't want your baby sister go through something that you couldn't even defend her as a child. You couldn't protect her as a child. And somewhere even my parents knew that Neha had to gain her confidence. This child is born with a strong willpower. And that is one of the qualities that I've learned from her. But apart from that, till my parents didn't enroll her in a school, until I didn't see a classroom full of kids with different abilities. I was only convinced that, okay, on this entire earth, only God has made that my sister to be special. That, friends, is not easy. Because as a family, you do love your sister, you do love your brother, you want to explain the world that she's not mad, like they are not mad, but there is something different about them, you know. You When it's not easy for you to face kids of your age and to go and play with them, because when they ask you that hey, तेरी बहन तो चल नहीं सकती ना, तेरी बहन तो बात नहीं कर सकती. That day I just seen Neha was like just sitting over there and she smiles at any stranger. So it took me a lot. It took me a lot to understand that autism can be accepted, autism can be loved. It's just a matter of an elder person or someone you look up to sit you down and explain what it is. And once you know that, that becomes your strength. And today, my strength is if you know me, you have to know my sister Neha. And I am not a person to sit anyone down or explain myself for defending her. But I proudly say that yes, I have a sister with special needs and we love her and we are so incomplete without her. God bless you all. Take care.
Hi everyone, my name is Shreya and I have a 20-year-old brother whose name is Suvrat. In today's session of Blurt It Out, I want to talk about something that I've really been struggling with and can't find an answer to. But the best part about being in a siblings network is knowing that your fellow siblings will understand and will relate to what you're going through. So my issue is that I'm constantly torn between prioritizing my aspirations, my career, and between spending time with my brother and my family. I moved to Bombay because I was working on my startup Reservoir, and Suvrat stays in Chandigarh with my family, which is where I'm from. And Reservoir is a platform for people with disabilities, for people with special needs, especially focusing on neurological disabilities, where we work very hard to facilitate a better support system for the community. And this sort of comes from a place where I don't want so many other people, millions of people in our country, to go through the same hardships that my family went through. And despite being in this field, despite being in a position where I know I'm working for the same cause as my family, I'm working on the same mission, not being with him and not being there in the ups and downs of my family is often very heartbreaking. I'm also at a point in my life where I'll soon have to make other personal decisions. I'm about choosing a life partner, choosing a city where I have to settle down. All of these questions will come up. And there is no doubt in my mind that I will 100% do whatever it needs to make sure that my brother is, loved, protected, and he lives the life that he wants to. But at the same time, this constant fear and judgment for myself of not doing that right away, that sort of always creeps in. But I think what I'm trying to tell myself, and hopefully I'm right, is that it's okay to prioritize my wishes for a little while and do what I love, because I don't want to end up regretting or feeling a little bit disgruntled at any level that I didn't do what I wanted to do at my brother's cost, because in the future that feeling might come up. So if it means making a short-term compromise of not being with him right now and staying away from him, I hope it'll be worth it. But it's very tough, and I came back to Chandigarh in this lockdown and I've spent a lot of time with him after so long, and I know there's a connection and I know there's a very special bond, and I know he loves me and cares for me just like I do for him, and that makes it harder, that this time I've taken out the time because we were both at home. I've spent time with him, we played cricket together, we've worked together, we've done art together, I've also recorded a lot of content for him, and just seeing how he goes about his day and how independent he's become, it's tough to see that I wasn't there for the whole learning process. But I think it's a constant battle. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to this, but I hope that all of us siblings, we will find a balance to do what we love and to also show love to our siblings in a way we find happiness in and they find happiness in. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Subi Pandey. I am a sister of Vinayak Pandey, who is mildly autistic. And in today's Blurt It Out session, I just wanted to appreciate all these special siblings out there. I know that a special child has a very, very difficult childhood, but I feel that even special siblings have had a very difficult childhood. You know, at a very young age, at a very tender age of 5, 6, 10, you guys were supposed to understand complex emotions, a very difficult concept, and moreover, I think you received an unsaid responsibility at that young age, and it is not easy to deal with all those things. But I really want to appreciate each and every sibling out there who, you know, prioritize their sibling above themselves, which is a very, very big thing. You know, being selfless is not easy, and all the siblings I know till now have been like that. I also want to, you know, thank you all for being this beautiful soul that you all are. We all are actually really blessed that we are a part of a special family, because, you know, this journey has taught us so much. Even though we had a little tough time, but we learned so much. Speaking for myself, I think I have become so kind, so brave, so mature, and, you know, I understand empathy. And I also understand the word that people use so casually these days, depression, anxiety. We have been through all of it and we have succeeded. And, you know, it is very courageous to deal with these things alone. I remember that when I was young, there were times when I used to cry alone, because, you know, even though I had few friends, I was a very shy person. I didn't talk to anyone that much. I did have few friends, but, you know, talking to them about this was not going to help me, because they are of my age. What will they understand? They are having a childhood with their sibling where they are fighting or playing games together. And for me, childhood was teaching my brother Vinayak who I was. You know, we had photographs in which he used to learn, this is mama, this is papa. And then there were these other images we had clicked of me brushing, and then he understood the concept of brushing. And seeing him change from that time to this time just makes me feel so proud of him. Because of him, you know, I have started valuing small little things so much. For us, everything was an achievement. Him eating with the spoon for first time, it was like a celebration, you know. And the biggest and most important thing, I felt so touched when he said my name for the first time. We waited for 13 long years, and that was when he said my name for the first time. So I've started valuing small things so much because of him. So these are the concepts I wouldn't have learned if I was not a special sibling, right? And, you know, I also feel that the world is finding happiness, and we find happiness in small things because of them. For that's what I just said, that, you know, like when he ate with the spoon for the first time, it was like a celebration for all of us. So the life we have now is full of purpose because of them. You know, being a special sibling was hard, but it was also one of the best things that ever happened to me. I also know that I wouldn't have met any of the other special siblings who are so amazing. I mean, ever since we all are connected via Sarthi, I have met such beautiful people. Someone has written a book, someone has their own startup, people are running NGOs, and I tell you this fact that all the siblings in this group, they are making awareness possible in whatever way, even if it's a small contribution. They are supporting their brother or sister, they are supporting their dreams, they're helping out their family. You are making a difference, small or little, doesn't matter. And I think this was all possible because we were special siblings. So I want to appreciate all of the people I know till now, and all the special siblings who are there in the world, because it is not easy being a special sibling. You are also a hero. Your parents definitely are a hero, and so are you. Just keep that in your mind. I wish luck and love to everyone out there, and together I know we all will make some or the other difference, and our siblings will definitely prosper. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Priyanka, and in today's Blurted Out session, I would like to talk about a very important phase in a girl's life, that is when we attain puberty or when we first start menstruating. Many of the young girls and women who are watching me will understand and will relate to me when I say that in many parts of India, this is actually a moment to celebrate. Like down south, when the first time I started menstruating, and when I attained puberty, there was an exchange of phone calls, and all the elders started congratulating me. I was suddenly the center of attention. There was a small puja held where I was told to completely deck up. I had sari, jewelry, flowers, all these things, and it was a nice occasion. I felt happy, I felt embarrassed. I also didn't know why was I suddenly getting so much attention, why was it suddenly such an important occasion. But I mean, I did enjoy it. Even today when I look at the photos, I still have this mixed bag of emotions. Several years later, my specially able sister also attained her puberty, and she started menstruating. And I was really clueless at that time. I'll tell you why. Because till that moment, I thought menstruation is a natural biological process, and there could possibly be no difference in if a neurotypical girl gets it or a neurodiverse girl gets it. But somewhere I had to start accepting that it is actually different, because there were literally no resources available that could educate my specially able sister on how to deal with this new phase in our life, how to adapt to it. There were no educational videos or resources or pictorial cues that could guide her. Only my mom and me could tell from our experience. We could only explain it to her that even we go through it, and we could only narrate our experiences, which probably didn't really help her, because she had to suddenly deal with this emotion and she was surprised that she had to actually bleed every month. Even the products in the market, like the sanitary napkins, the tampons, the innerwear, none of these are disabled friendly, and that actually made us feel a little uncomfortable. Not only us, I'm sure my sister would have felt more uncomfortable than us. And at that point I realized that as a country we actually not only have to go miles ahead in menstrual hygiene and all these things in general, but even for specially abled girl we have to start introducing educational videos, awareness, and align our products so that in a way that they can also use them. Secondly, what hit me was the total vibe around this occasion. Remember, I told you how happy and how it was. I mean, what a happy occasion it was when I attained puberty, and I'm sure it would have been in the case of many girls and women who are watching this video. In comparison to that, when my sister attained her puberty, it was nothing close to that. Yes, everyone was happy, but there was a lot of worry, tension, panic. Suddenly, there were questions raised about her future. Suddenly, people started, showing pity on her, like, oh, isn't the suffering which she's going through already enough? Now, why is God being so cruel? Why would, how is she going to deal with this? And that kind of confused me, because the same society congratulated me. The same society didn't question my future. They felt that my future is very bright. Now that, I am now an adolescent, and now that I'm menstruating, and why was this difference there? At the end of the day, aren't we girls? Aren't we going through the same developmental cycle? But the society reacted in a very different way, and I couldn't really understand that. I felt that they should have been equally happy. Also, I see that in a lot of households that we follow traditions, very archaic, old traditions, like the girl is made to sit in a separate room. Then they will not share the utensils with her. They will not allow her to touch the clothes, and so on and so forth. I was really surprised when a specially abled girl was also asked to follow these. Remember that when a specially able child is going through this, it is not exactly the same as what you're going through. When they attain puberty, they're actually facing a lot of behavioral changes. They're facing sensory issues. In some instances, they also develop seizure, like my sister developed. And I found it very insensitive of people to ask us to tell her to not go near this room, to ask her to sit away, to ask her not to touch these things. Why? I mean, they're already having to cope up with a lot of things. Why would you want to put so much pressure on them for unnecessary old, totally illogical traditions? Lastly, we also had to deal with a lot of society's comments, very insensitive comments, like, why don't you consider hysterectomy for her? I was really shocked. It is not only insensitive, it's unethical, unethical also. As a society, we have no right to decide about the future of a specially abled child. Unless there are medical complications, you cannot really decide whether, she should be allowed to keep her uterus or not. That is so immoral. So please don't walk up to a family with a specially abled child and speak like this. This is very insensitive. Please keep these thoughts to yourself. Please research about them before you walk up and pass such comments, because we as a family have had to go through these comments, and it has, although we learned to ignore it over time, but it made us panic. It made us start worrying, because even though initially we thought that, okay, menstruation shouldn't be a big deal because it has happened to me, so for my sister also it would be a natural process. But because of the society's reaction and because of lack of resources, it made us panic so much. It made us worry so much for her, that now over a time we felt it probably was unnecessary, probably it was over the top, and probably correct guidance and resources would have helped us deal with the situation in a much, much better way. Thank you.